This is a community-supported legal education channel. Find out how you can support our mission at the links in the description below. All right, Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri has introduced legislation aimed at banning loot boxes in games. We have a public service announcement for you, I guess. A fierce critic of social media practices that prey on the addiction of users, Senator Josh Hawley announced today that he will introduce landmark legislation banning the exploitation of children through pay-to-win and loot box monetization practices by the video game industry. Hawley said, social media and video games prey on user addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world and extracting profits from fostering compulsive habits. No matter this business model's advantage to the tech industry, one thing is clear: there is no excuse for exploiting children through such practices. When a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction. And when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive microtransactions. Game developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences. In recent years, the video game industry has become increasingly reliant on monetization models that promote compulsive microtransaction purchases by consumers. The most abusive practices are pay-to-win. Designers engineer games with artificial difficulty curves to induce players to spend money on upgrades simply to progress. These games are often offered for free, enticing players to download and even offering them a false sense of progression upon initial download before artificially increasing difficulty to induce compulsive purchases. In other cases, designers create multiplayer games offering players who purchase paid upgrades competitive advantages over other players. World of Tanks. Loot boxes, incorporated both in free and paid games, offer players randomized rewards for spending money, combining the addictive properties of pay-to-win with the compulsive behavior inherent in other forms of gambling. One notorious example of this practice, Candy Crush, a free puzzle game featuring a Candyland-style cartoon aesthetic that offers players additional lives on a set timer, allows players to purchase a $150 Luscious bundle, including 1,000 units of its gold bar in-game currency, a variety pack of temporary boosters to reduce game difficulty, and 24 hours of unlimited lives. The game touts this offering with a medal labeled Best Value. Candy Crush developer King earns parent company Activision Blizzard $2 billion annually, boasting 268 million monthly active users. And he has a infographic here, or I guess it's just a sort of an outline. The Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act would apply new consumer protections to games played by minors, including those under the age of 18, and games with wider audiences who attract minor players. Microtransactions would be prohibited, pay-to-win would be prohibited, and these rules would be enforced by the Federal Trade Commission, which would treat the distribution of such games by publishers and online distributors as an unfair trade practice. State attorney generals would also be empowered to file suit. Is it state attorney generals or states attorneys general? State attorneys general would also be empowered to file suit to defend the residents of their state. Which the timing of this could not be any better, because I have a second public service announcement. The Federal Trade Commission is hosting an event on loot boxes called Inside the Game, Unlocking the Consumer Issues Surrounding Loot Boxes, August 7th, 2019, 9 a.m. at the Constitution Center in Washington, D.C. The staff of the FTC will examine consumer protection issues related to video game loot boxes at a public workshop on August 7th, 2019. Loot boxes are in-game rewards, etc. The workshop will bring together a variety of stakeholders, industry representatives, consumer advocates, trade associations, academics, and government officials to discuss concerns regarding the marketing and use of loot boxes and other in-game purchases and the potential behavioral impact of these virtual rewards on young consumers. Topics this workshop will cover include a look at in-game transaction landscapes, including the origins and evolutions of loot boxes and their role in gameplay and in the marketplace. Research examining consumer behavior, including child and adolescent behavior in the context of video games and digital transactions. A discussion of consumer awareness and education, including mechanics, marketing, and financial commitments. FTC staff invites the public to submit suggestions for potential workshop topics through June 7th via email at lootboxworkshop@ftc.gov. That's lootboxworkshop, LOOTBOXWORKSHOP @ftc.gov. FTC also welcomes written comments through October 11th. The workshop is free and open to the public, will be held at 400 7th Street Southwest, Washington, D.C. at the Constitution Center. It will also be webcast live. Please bring a valid government-issued photo ID, government badge, license, or passport. Security will be processed through a metal detector and x-ray screening of all hand-carried items. So that's very interesting. This is a different summary of it. Okay. So what do you think? Should we go to the August 7th loot box workshop in Washington, D.C.? I'm only a couple hours away. Heck, Blackleaf lives right next to this place. So that could be a very interesting opportunity for us. Let us know what you think in the comments below.
I'm also then still with you.
Yeah, we could go to Washington, D.C., and you could go to an official proceeding. We would have to bring your passport as your official ID, but there would be no other bar for you to enter. I think you could enter. I don't know if they'll allow cameras, but they should allow. There'll be reporting will be definitely allowed.
I wonder a little bit about how much of the support for this is because as consumers, we feel cheated on a game that is pay to win because, you buy the game and you think that you have a product, but what you actually have is sort of that beginner set and you have to keep feeding money into it in order to enjoy everything else. And as consumers when we grew up with, Nintendo and stuff, you just bought the game cartridge and you had a workable game and that was fun. And now that's not the case. You have to continually invest.
Yeah. So where is that line? Where do you cross from, is a free-to-play game like World of Tanks, is that breaking some kind of consumer law or at least the spirit of some consumer protection because you can easily pay money to buy better consumable products and upgrades to your tank and things? And sure, you could grind through the in-game currency to get to it, but it takes orders of magnitude longer to achieve anything via in-game. For example, I'm speaking about World of Tanks specifically because I've spent a lot of money on World of Tanks, and I'm still riding all of the currency that I earned as a premium subscriber for many years. I'm still not a premium subscriber anymore, and I'm slowly declining. Like, I'm a decent above average player, and I'm not earning enough in-game currency to maintain my balance and play the game. So I'm not going to be able to use those, what I'm going to call pay to win premium consumables and bonuses for my tank and stuff, because I won't have any money to spend on them after a certain period of time. I have like 1 million credits left, and 1 million credits doesn't last a long time in World of Tanks because everything is like 20,000 this, 20,000 that.
So yeah, I wonder how much of this is a protect the kids and how much of this is consumers are irritated at this new monetization scheme. And I really wonder when it comes to minors and them playing these games, is that where most of the outrage is coming from? And is it really going to help the average consumer if we say minors can't play like Candy Crush? I don't know.
I would think that there would have to be a wall. Now, certainly Candy Crush might decide not to publish their game. They have the right to do that, but I would think the proper response to a regulation like that would be to have a parental lock of some kind. I don't know if it's how enforceable it is, but some kind of age barrier or something that says, you can't be asked to, you can't experience the loot box version of the game unless you consent to it or are an adult or something. Even adults should have to consent to it, in my humble opinion. But
I think
it feels like gambling.
With a lot of stuff on the internet, we're now conditioned to want things for free. We want free-to-play games. We want to get our news sources for free. We want to watch things for free on YouTube. And that means that companies have to come up with different monetization schemes. And so if you take away the microtransactions, then the natural consequence of that is that you're going to pay up front for your games rather than in small transactions as you go. And I mean, if we as consumers decide that that's what we want, great. I'm a little bit wary as to whether banning loot boxes is the best way regulatorily to go. But I'm interested to hear more.
I mean, even the latest Mario or Yoshi game has loot boxes in it, but the difference there is that you only get the loot boxes by earning in-game currency. It's a way for you to get skins, and you get to choose how much of your in-game currency you spend on skins. And that's really all that it is. You can't buy it for real money. So there's a place where loot boxes are in there, but they're not gambling, because you're only using play money. Thank you for joining us for this spring episode of the Lawful Masses Legal Education Show, educating you, my lawful masses, about the law news that has happened in the past week or so. I guess we do some older things too that come back up. Anyway, this is a community-supported channel. Thank you very much for your support on patreon.com/ljfrench and sponsors.org/u/lawfulmasses. It'll be on your screen. Thank you very much to our May 2019 supporters at the $50 level. Thank you very much to John Steele, Gavin Barnard, Eevi, Andy, Kyle Mudrak, Verement, Tayne, Michael Pearce, Terry Crisp, Richard Fournier, Spirit Bear, Jan Negrey, Daniel Perez, Snorre Wisotzky, allquixotic, and Aspernari. Thank you very much for your support, and thank you very much to the $5 plus supporters who are scrolling on the LED panel behind me. And there you go, $5 plus supporters right there. And we'll be scrolling on the crawl at the end of this video. So love you all. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I don't know what else to say. We love and appreciate you mothers. I love and appreciate my mother. Wouldn't be the guy I am without her. Anyway, Hup. Come here, my boy. That's okay. We're gonna cut up the outro. So you're just gonna totally cut out. I am not drunk. I swear to God.
I swear to drunk, I'm not God.
I swear to God, I'm not. I swear to drunk, I'm not God. What a go boy. What a go boy. You want another one? We're supposed to be making you more skinny, because you're a few pounds overweight, Mr. Dog.
That's impressive considering how much exercise they get.
Yeah. It was the year of sedentariness because... All right.
He goes like, don't body shame me.
Don't body shame me. Yeah, exactly.
Love you all. Bye.